Welcome to This Week in Education Law School Administrator's Guide, episode number 21. The case I introduced this week is about whether separating the use of male and female bathrooms in the public schools based on students' biological sex violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and the Title IX of Education Amendments of 1972. In this case, Drew Adams was a transgender student. Adams entered St. Johns County School District in the state of Florida in the 4th grade as a biological female. At the end of 8th grade, Adams began identifying and living as a boy. Adams dressed in boys' clothing and wore a chest binder to flatten breast tissue. Adams also adopted the male pronouns he and him and began using the male bathroom in public. In August 2015, Adams entered 9th grade at Ellen D. Nease High School within St. Johns County School District. The high school provided female, male, and sex-neutral bathrooms for its 2,450 students. Sex-neutral bathrooms were provided to accommodate any student, including the approximately 5 transgender students at the high school who preferred not to use the bathrooms that corresponded with their biological sex. At the time, the school district had a set of guidelines for LGBT students. Follow best practices. Under the guidelines, school district personnel, upon request, address students consistent with their gender identity pronouns. The guidelines also allow transgender students to dress in accordance with their gender identities and publicly express their gender identities. Finally, the guidelines formally noted that transgender students will be given access to a gender-neutral restroom and will not be required to use the restroom corresponding to their biological sex. For purpose of this policy, the school district distinguished between boys and girls on the basis of biological sex by reference to various documents, including birth certificates that students submit when they first enroll in the school district. The school district did not accept updates to students' enrollment documents to conform with their gender identities. The school district's decision to maintain the long-standing bathroom policy, separating bathrooms based on biological sex while providing sex-neutral bathroom accommodations for transgender students, was motivated in part by the issue of fluid gender, in which students may switch between genders with which they identify. Because Adams was a biological female and first enrolled in the school district as a female, Adams was identified as a female for purpose of the bathroom policy. For the first few weeks of 9th grade, Adams used the male bathrooms in violation of the bathroom policy without incident. However, at some point during this period, 2 unidentified students observed Adams using a male bathroom and complained to school officials. The school then informed Adams that under the bathroom policy, Adams had to use either female bathrooms or the sex-neutral bathrooms. Adams took issue with that directive and with parental help, began petitioning the school to change its policy. On June 28, 2017, after Adams' effort to change the school district's bathroom policy failed, Adams filed a lawsuit against the school district, alleging that its bathroom policy violated both the Equal Protection Clause and Title IX. At all times relevant to this lawsuit, Adams had the female reproductive anatomy Adams was born with. Because Adams was still a teenager who had not yet reached the age of maturity, Adams could not undergo surgeries to rework external genitalia. Even though Adams obtained an amended birth certificate with a male designation, began taking birth control to stop menstruation, and taking testosterone to appear more masculine, and underwent a surgery to remove breast tissue. After a bench trial, the district court ruled in Adams' favor. The district court held that Adams' rights had been violated and that the school policy violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. The district court enjoined the school board from prohibiting Adams' use of male bathrooms and granted Adams $1,000 in compensatory damages. The school board appealed the ruling to a 3-judge panel of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. On August 7, 2020, a divided panel, with 1 judge dissented, affirmed the district court's decision that ruled in Adams' favor. In response to a motion for reconsideration, the panel issued a new opinion on July 14, 2021, limited to equal protection claim under the 14th Amendment without dealing with the Title IX claim. On August 23, 2021, the 11th Circuit voted to vacate the panel opinion and rehear the case en banc with all judges present. On December 30, 2022, the 11th Circuit issued an opinion overruling the district court's opinion in a 7-4 decision. The court held that the school district's policy of separating school bathrooms based on biological sex was constitutional and did not violate Title IX. Adams argued that the school district's bathroom policy violated both the Equal Protection Clause and Title IX because Adams was not allowed to use male bathroom consistent with the sex with which Adams identified. The school district's bathroom policy discriminated on both the basis of sex and transgender status. The court disagreed. The court reasoned that the protection of students' privacy interest in using the bathroom away from the opposite sex and in shielding their bodies from the opposite sex is obviously an important governmental objective. The school district has a legitimate interest in protecting student privacy, which extends to bathrooms. All individuals possess a privacy interest when using restrooms or other spaces in which they remove clothes, and this privacy interest is heightened when persons of the opposite sex are present. And the school district's bathroom policy is substantially related to the government objective in protecting student privacy interests in school bathrooms. The school district's policy did not discriminate on the basis of biological sex. Nor did the policy discriminate against transgender students. The school district's bathroom policy facially classifies based on biological sex, not transgender status or gender identity, and both sides of the classification, biological males and biological females, include transgender students. To say that the bathroom policy singles out transgender students mischaracterizes how the policy operates. A policy can lawfully classify on the basis of biological sex without unlawfully discriminating on the basis of transgender status. Also, the school district's bathroom policy separates bathrooms based on biological sex, which is not a stereotype, recognizing the biological differences between male and female is not a stereotype. To accommodate 16 transgender students while protecting the privacy interest of 40,000 students in the school district authorized the use of sex-neutral bathrooms, which was not a special burden on transgender students. As a result, the court concluded that there is no evidence of purposeful discrimination against transgender students by the school district, and any disparate impact that the bathroom policy has on those students does not violate the Equal Protection Clause. The court also concluded that the Adams Title IX claim failed because Title IX allowed schools to separate bathrooms by biological sex. This is exactly what the school district has done in this case. It has provided separate bathrooms for each of the biological sexes. And to accommodate the transgender students, the school district has provided sex-neutral bathrooms, which Title IX either requires nor prohibits. Nothing about this bathroom policy violates Title IX. Whether Title IX should be amended to equate gender identity and transgender status with sex should be left to Congress, not the courts. The court also concluded that the Adams Title IX claim failed because Title IX allowed schools to separate bathrooms by biological sex. This is exactly what the school district has done in this case. It has provided separate bathrooms for each of the biological sexes. And to accommodate the transgender students, the school district has provided sex-neutral bathrooms, which Title IX either requires nor prohibits. Nothing about this bathroom policy violates Title IX. Whether Title IX should be amended to equate gender identity and transgender status with sex should be left to Congress, not the courts. And that's it for today's episode of This Week in Education Law, School Administrator's Guide. I hope that the information shared today was helpful and relevant to your role as an administrator. Keeping up to date on school law is crucial for making informed decisions and leading effectively. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesdays. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again soon.